In this video, I will share to you 5 ways on how you can make more money in property investment. But just a disclaimer, this video is not a financial advice. This video is made for entertainment purposes only, so please do your own due diligence before you make any investing decision. After all, I'm just a guy in YouTube who make videos, even though I made my first $100,000 from property. I'm going to put the link up here somewhere in this video so you can actually check it out if you are interested. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. In a nutshell, we actually make money from 2 things in property: capital gains and cash flow. The cash flow comes from the rental that exceeds your expenses like your mortgage, insurance, property management, repairs, and all that stuff. All right, let's move on to the first strategy, which is the easiest strategy that anyone can do it. We purchase a property for a buy and hold strategy. We believe in the location and we invest in that location for long term. All you need to do is just buy it and sit on it. And you may either refinance it after a few years or you may sell it. Regardless, whatever you do, this is the easiest strategy, and this is the strategy that I use as well. And I think every property investor started with this strategy. Very easy. The pro is very easy, but the con is it can take longer, especially if you buy, for example, an apartment in Melbourne market. You may need to wait for a long time until you get a capital gains on your property. That's the first strategy. Let's move on to the second strategy. You buy, renovate, and rent it out. Okay, so this strategy has got 2 elements. One is you create a capital, possibly a capital gain from your renovation. The value of your property goes up once you did the renovation. Or you can also get your cash flow, because when you renovate a property, the rental increases and it attracts better tenant as well. And possibly you can actually have a positive cash flow. So this strategy is actually pretty good if you would like to have a long-term, or you want to build a property portfolio. This is a long-term strategy because you are not just in and out from the market. Okay, so the pro is you can build equity and also positive cash flow. But the con is your renovation costs may blow up. I have done renovation myself, and every time I do renovation, there's always more things I need to pay or more things I need to take care of. For example, when I remove the wall, it's got asbestos, and asbestos is very dangerous. So we need to call up an asbestos removal. They have to come in. It takes time, it takes more money to remove this asbestos. And also not just that, but in general, when you actually fix up the wall or when you fix up the bathroom, there's more things you need to do. The waterproofing is not done, so you need to call the waterproofer to fix it, and all these things that you need to deal with. So that is the con of renovation. It can take longer than you think it's gonna be, and it can be more expensive than you think it's gonna be. All right, so that's the con, but it's actually a good way, and this actually suits somebody that wants to do the dirty work. If you have got the skill, if you're a tradie, for example, you can actually do this in the weekend, and it can save you some money if you have got the skill and the time. And if you don't have the time, then you can actually project manage it. You just call up the tradie to do the work for you. All right, that's the second strategy. The third strategy is flipping property. You buy the property, you renovate, and you sell it. And sometimes you don't actually need to renovate. If you are in a high market or in a growing market, you don't need to actually renovate if you buy in a good location. So the pro about this is if you have got limited capital, for example, you don't have a steady income, or you don't have a high income job, or not a consistent income, you probably can't borrow too much. So this probably works for you because you would like to buy in and out very quickly, and then you can get all your capital back that you can invest in the next project. So this is a flipping property, and it's quite common for people who understand the location or people who would like to build wealth quicker. This is one of the strategies that you can do. That's the pro. But the con is this strategy takes time. And not only that, if your renovation, for example, takes longer than expected, the market may change, because this strategy only works when you are in a growing market. But if you are in a declining market, this strategy is not going to work. It means that if you are ready to sell it and then suddenly the market drops, so you cannot get the price that you want, then you got to think of a way on how are you going to hold the property. Otherwise, you have to sell it at a loss. So if you are in this position, you probably have to put it in the market as rental and then wait until the market picks up again. It can take months, it can take years. Who knows, right? So that's the con of this strategy. It relies a lot on the timing, on when you buy and when you sell. And also you need to get a good price in order for you to make profit. So you probably need to get under the market value to actually can make a good profit, because this strategy requires a lot of in and out costs. When you buy property in Melbourne or Australia, you have to pay stamp duty. That's like 5%, 5.5%, depending on your state. And then you have to have your closing costs, your agent, that's about 2.2%. You have got all these costs that you need to pay when you are entering and exiting the market, entering and exiting the purchase. So that's something you need to consider in your feasibility. All right, that's the third one. Fourth strategy is to subdivide the property that you buy. For example, if you understand about the council regulation of a particular suburb, you can actually buy with a house that's in the front and you subdivide the back of the property. You can either subdivide it and you can sell the land later on, or you can actually build. If you have got enough income or enough cash, you can actually build. So from 1 into 2, that's subdividing. But this strategy, even though it's actually very good in terms of building equity quicker, there's a lot of con that we need to be wary of. For example, it can take you longer for the council. It can take the council longer for them to approve your planning. And you need an architect, you need working drawings, you need to understand the setbacks, you need to understand how many meters of the driveways that you need. And every suburb, every state, every council have got different regulation. For example, in Victoria, I think it can take up to 2 years for the council to approve it. Out of all the states, Victoria is actually the cheapest, but they are one of the longest in order for subdividing a property. And a lot of property like this goes out in the market very quickly. People are actually looking for this kind of property all the time because they understand the numbers, they know the opportunity that comes with it. So you have to be very quick. It can take only 7 days for a property to be sold with this kind of opportunity. Okay, so this is actually a good strategy if you understand the council, if you understand the regulation. This will work for you. All right, the next one, which is the fifth strategy, is property development. In the subdividing strategy, in the previous strategy, it was only like 1 into 2, for example. But with the property development is you have to demolish the old house and you build a new townhouses, 1 into 3, 1 into 4, or if you have got a land side by side, you can turn it 2 land into 6 townhouses, or even 8 townhouses, or even 9 townhouses, or even apartments. All right, that's the beauty of property development. You use the current land and then you actually add value by having more properties. So that is the pro. This is actually a very hard strategy to do because you need to know when you build new townhouses, what do people want? Is it a 2-bedroom? Is it a 3-bedroom? Is it a 1 car park? Is it a 2 car parks? Is it a high ceiling? So you need to know all of these things before you actually go into property development. And again, every state, every council is different. And when you are presenting to the council your working drawings, it can take years They may reject you. The neighbors may say, I don't want any development in my area. And that's going to slow you down. And slowing down means it's gonna cost you more money because you already demolished, for example, and you don't get any rental, and then it delays. It means that you need to have more cash, not just to hold the property, but also to build the property. This strategy is not gonna work on a declining market. And also, as a property developer, you are taking a lot of risk because you are betting that the next 2 years, the property will either stay the same or it's gonna go up. This is something that you need to think about. And I know that there are a lot of property developers gone bankrupt. For example, in GFC, it was all over the news. This strategy is very advanced and I don't suggest you to actually do this if you don't know what you're doing. It's a very special strategy because you can actually lose all your profits very quickly because your property sitting on the market. There has to be a second strategy. For example, if you can't sell it, then you have to rent it out. But how long do you need to wait? And your capital will be tied up if you have to rent out some of your townhouses. All right, so that's the pro and con, and this only works for professionals that know exactly what they're doing. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to me until the end. Please do like and subscribe to this video or my channel if this is helpful to you, and please do like and comment in the comment description below on what you think about this video and where are you at with your property journey. I would love to hear from you as fellow property investors, and I will see you guys in the next video.